Welcome to the Xylo experience. Yeah.
Why do we go to all these extremes? It's frankly human nature. Like, we as people are inherently and across the board inherently violent and greedy.
So there is a point in which we reach a state, a human being supposedly reach a state of evolution or what have you. We are supposed to be the highest, most intellectual form of life on this planet.
Yep, conscious.
Now, we have reached points in which I'm not sure if it's our intellectual capacity or our moral capacity is depleting, because we are reverting back to forms and ways of life that were back in like the early 1900s and things like that, where we're taking rights away from people because of religion, because I don't believe that you are what you say you are.
Right.
I don't believe you should be talking to my kids about, the fact that little Johnny has two dads.
Right, and the fact of the matter is, like,
more important subjects at hand than whether or not another kid considers themselves to be a different gender than the sex they were born in. We got more important shit to work with.
Definitely starts at home. Like the unacceptance of the LGBTQ plus community or non-binary people or trans people, not accepting that is definitely taught at home. So when people are saying that they want it taught in schools, obviously they're not saying like go into graphic detail. You wouldn't teach a child extreme math or anything like that, something that's going to go way above their head. But you can teach them like, hey, this is something that exists. And then once they get a little bit older, you can explain them more thoroughly.
Okay.
And it's like this, what is it? Yeah, because I'm really bad at that whole spiel there because I butchered it every time. I'm bisexual.
Hey, that's very cool.
But the thing is like I haven't told my grandparents. I refuse to because they're Catholics.
I never did either.
Right.
I didn't tell my parents until I turned 20. So
and I'm married, but
oh wow,
me and my wife are polyamorous.
You got that problem?
Oh.
I had to. I'm sorry. I'm a divorced man. I had to.
But we're polyamorous.
Look at you when you say you're married. My friend would say, "I'm sorry."
Yep. You'll see.
But
you know what?
It's
I'm glad you say you polyamorous. I want you to continue, but that goes. I need you to check out my segment on my podcast because I talk about that. I talk about polygamy and monogamy. I talk about it. You got to go check it out. But anyway, go ahead.
I definitely will.
There's also a group for polyamory people as well. It's called Taste of Flavor.
What we have to understand is that monogamy is a Western civilization thing. Monogamy is new. It's new. Did you know that if you take all the men out the world and you only leave 30, we can impregnate the whole world of women with only 30 men. We are not instinctually monogamous creatures. This is new. I've never heard a king who has several wives saying, and I never heard a wife saying, well, he treats wife number 2 better than he treats wife number 5. It's never been. This is new stuff.
Yeah, and not only that, but the concept of marriage in and of itself. There's I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him or not, but he does. He's one of my favorite freaking. What do you call it? Philosophers. He's living today, actually, I think, if I remember correctly.
Right.
I'm going to bring him up here in a second because for some reason his
the guy, your TikTok sucks? That's your name. Like, I'm not saying that.
I know.
No.
I don't see your previous comment.
I don't know. I don't feel like touching on my screen. It says that's something to be proud of. I don't know, Brittany. I don't know what you're talking about, but I have anything I say. I can literally back it up and I can prove it physically. And this.
Okay, so it's Alan Watts. If you have never heard Alan Watts speak, please go listen to this thing about marriage.
Okay.
He explains that marriage was never meant to be as the way it is now.
Right.
Originally, marriage was developed as a social economic practice. It was a joining of two families,
Right.
Usually for financial reasons.
Okay.
It was a contractual agreement.
Yes.
And people in a marriage back then, when marriage was first created, were never required to remain
Monogamous.
sexually committed to their married partner.
Okay.
Right, and it's like I said, I haven't even told my grandparents that we're polyamorous. Like, she has a girlfriend, she's also bisexual, which is awesome.
I think it's healthy. I think it's the healthiest thing.
And it's a big trust thing.
To answer a statement in the chat, it's the specific trend, if you want to call it, of marriage being solely developed for you're stuck with the partner that you have. That's actually not a men thing. That's
not.
That was developed out of
Christian security for the female, actually.
Yep.
It was actually mainly created and developed by Christianity, stating that you must stay true to your partner.
Christianity, aka paganism.
Yeah, aka paganism.
We don't want to. We're always going to kind of keep things on the surface here. We always want to stay within these 1-5 subject. Okay, so now marriage. So I like where we're going with this. Now, is marriage a pro-choice or pro-life thing? Like, does it have to do with like pro-choice, and is that like intertwined with marriage?
No, marriage was solely originally created for financial reasons.
Okay.
To upgrade a person's status among society. So you'd have a lower class family marries into an upper class family,
Right.
In order to further their family's necessities and
The legacy.
financial.
Yeah, the legacy. Mm-hmm.
Now, they were not required back in that day to stay true to their partner in a sexual manner. They had mistresses, and even the men had other male lovers at the time.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Personally, I think humans have a lot of love to give.
Huh?
I said, myself personally, I feel like humans have a lot of love to give, and for it to be just singular to, like, oh, you're only allowed to love this one person only forever, like, that just seems so restricting.
I agree with you, because I believe that human beings, once we're in a corner, we get chaotic, and I think that's the issue.
Right.
If you want to look at the Christian version of marriage, or the Abrahamic religious version of marriage,
It's horrible.
that is supposedly specifically between a man and a woman for the sole purpose of
Procreation?
respectable version of procreation.
Okay, I figured that.
So, not supposed to with anyone outside of marriage in the Abrahamic religious constructs.
Now, when it comes to marriage, now listen, I have my opinion, but I know the truth, and I'm not blinded by the truth, whether if I feel wrong or right. When it comes to marriage, it does better us as people. I do believe this. I really do believe this. It does.
I agree.
It does. It does. It does. My sense of camaraderie with each other.
Right. I agree.
And the cool thing is
monogamy or polyamory, both of those are a choice. You can choose if you are more comfortable with monogamy, absolutely go for it. But in me and my wife's case, we are polyamorous, but we have that trust that if I want to go get laid, I just tell her. She meets the person, and she either gives me the okay or no go. Same with her. You know, if I get a girlfriend or boyfriend,
we're not really polyamorous. That's what's referred to as an open relationship.
Open relationship, yeah.
Polyamory implies that you're actually capable of having more than one involved relationship at one time.
Sharing.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was getting to. That's what I was getting to. In the
polyamorous are generally knowledgeable of the other people involved in the polyamorous relationship as well. It's almost a prerequisite being in a polyamorous relationship that all parties involved know of each other.
Okay.
Right, and that's what
communication is important.
And that's what I was getting to. It is, she has a girlfriend. I know about the girlfriend.
That's great, actually.
I'm still currently looking, but the thing is she brought it up to me. She was like, hey, I'm actually falling in love with this person.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is it okay with you?
That's okay.
You know, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. You know, I'm still looking for a girlfriend, funny enough. I've been in dating for 3 years, so my pickup line is, you like bread?
And I bet your household is less stress because you still get to go home to each other and you still get to, I guess, fulfill what y'all long-term goal is in the long run. People got to understand this is all like mental, you know? This is more mental than anything, you know?
Well, it's a combination of mental and philosophical as well as societal.
I concur.